Hello there, crafty friends. It's Alicia of the Call Me Crafty Al YouTube channel, and in today's video we are going to make another alternative for the July 2019 paper pumpkin kit. I hope you'll stick around and see what I make. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If this is your first time to my channel, I hope by the end of the video that you'll be inspired to hit the subscribe button below. If you're already a subscriber and regular viewer, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. As I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to be making another alternative for the July 2019 paper pumpkin kit, which is called On My Mind. I have already shared a few videos using this kit. I will link all of those in my July playlist in the description box below. So after this video, if you want to go check those out, that would be great. In today's card, I'm going to be making another shaker card. I know I shared one just the other day, but in that one I used sand with the ship wheel from the kit. Today I will be using your standard sequins for my shaker kit. Before I get started, let's go ahead and talk about some of the supplies that I will be using today. I have stuff that's from the kit and stuff from my stash. So from the kit, I will be using the Hello Friend stamp for my sentiment. I got out the twine, one of the light green leaves, the fishtail banner flag, and then I got out a couple scraps, one of the tan and one of the dark green. I'm not sure if I'll use these, but I did grab them. And also another scrap that I'm going to be using. This might normally be something you toss in the recycle bin or the trash, but I will be using this as the focal point of my card today. I grabbed the green and white pattern piece that came with the kit, and then I got out the tan card, but I will be cutting this apart and using it kind of like pattern paper or just solid cardstock. Now the items that did not come from this kit are over here on the left. I am going to use this fresh ink pigment pad. This is called Celery, and I thought this green went well with that green leaf, so that's why I chose that. You could always use the ink that comes with the kit or something you already have in your stash. I got out some small gold sequins, a scrap of clear cardstock for my shaker window. This is 5mm clear report covers. I will have this linked in the description box below if you want to check that out. I got out these small glue dots. These are actually from a paper pumpkin kit, but just not this one. The glue dots we got with this kit are bigger, and I thought these would fit the sequins if I wanted to add some to the front of my card. Because I am going to be using their card base as kind of cardstock and pattern paper, I did pre-make a card base ahead of time. And then you know when I make a shaker card, I love to use my big roll of foam tape. This is actually probably about half the size it started out as. I get this from Amazon and it's 150 feet. I like the 1/4 inch wide because I think it fits in some of those tight places, and it's not too thick. I would say it's almost comparable to a Stampin' Up! Dimensional. I just like the little lift that it gives to pieces. My first step will be to do as much of the cutting as I can. I'm going to cut the card in half. And then I'm going to cut the front piece down a little smaller. I'm going to cut this to 5 1/4 by 4 inches. I want the tan to be kind of a matte for my shaker element. So I'm going to cut this to 3 1/4 by 4. And then I'll bring in my piece of clear cardstock and cut this to 3 by 3 3/4. And that just makes it the same size as the green piece. So not only will that be the window for my shaker, it also adds some stability to that scrap. I'm going to go ahead and work on the card base. So I'm just going to place the tan, it's kind of a textured look paper, flat down in the center of the card. And because I want this pattern piece to stretch completely across the card front, you'll see here that it doesn't. So I'm just going to cut this in half quickly with a pair of scissors. And then I can place one piece to the left and one piece to the right, and this will actually cover up that opening in the middle. And now I'm going to go ahead and start working on the shaker element. I'm going to start by putting a border of foam tape around the edges on the back of this piece. I do really like this foam tape because it is rather thin, but there will be some places on my cutout or my focal point where the cutout is too close to the edge for me to put the tape there. So for now, I'm going to skip that, and I will come back in later and fill those in with smaller pieces of the foam tape. And there you'll see how I filled in those tighter spots with smaller pieces. And the only reason I have to be so exact is because this is going to be a shaker and my sequins could slip out of those little spots. Now what I'm going to do is go in and put in some foam tape in the open areas because I do want to try to contain my sequins to only where the branch is. I recently watched Janie the Craft Princess's Tuesday tip video on shakers, and she said for curves, when you have your foam tape, to kind of make snips in it, and then you can bend it around curves. So I thought I would try that out today. And you see how that then just curves right around there? Great idea, thank you, Janie. I will link her channel below if you want to go check it out. So I'll continue getting some tape on the back of this. I'll come back and show you what it looks like, and then we'll get the shaker filled up. Alright, so I have all my foam tape on the back of there, and before I came back on camera, I went ahead and cut another scrap of the clear cardstock to the same size as this green piece. And the reason is I did not think that I was going to be able to place this exactly on top to get a nice border around my focal point. So this will allow me to hold the sequins in there and then turn it over and mat it. Before I put the sequins in, I am going to go ahead and pull all of the release paper, and that's just because if I try to do it later, sometimes my piece just goes crazy when I pull it off, and then the sequins jump out of their sections and get stuck to the foam tape. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This might take a little bit, so I won't make you watch the process. I will be back once everything has been released. And now it's time to start putting the sequins in. I will just put them in the openings where the branches are. I won't put any over here or here because it would just be covered from the front. I'm going to put them in using my little Dollar Tree spoon. I got a package of these for $1 and they come in super handy for shaker cards. And now that the shaker is complete, which they don't move around a lot, but I kind of like that because then they stay up where you can see them instead of all falling to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of this and mat it with that tan piece. Next up is stamping the sentiment. And now I'll figure out how I want the rest of the card to be arranged. I am going to just put this centered left to right on the card front. I will be matting my sentiment tag with a scrap of the tan paper that was left over from other cards. And now to finish, I'll add my embellishments. I'm going to tie a twine knot around the left side of this, so I just put some adhesive on the back so I have a place for my twine to stick to, so I don't have to fight to keep it on the tag and tie it at the same time. And now finally, I'm going to put some of the sequins onto here. I'm going to choose 3 spots to put a little glue dot, and then I will place one of the sequins on each of those. I hope you like that look at how I created this shaker card using the July 2019 paper pumpkin kit. If you did, as always, I appreciate a thumbs up. And until my next video, I hope you're having a crafty day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch all the way to the end of the video. I hope that you'll consider clicking on one of the videos or playlists I have linked above, and if you're interested in any of the products or tools that I use in the video, I do have some links in the description box.